Blog Talk Radio.
This is the Wealthy Wednesday radio show with Lucy McMonagle, helping you create a lifestyle and business that you love. Lucy is an intuitive success coach who specializes in assisting and training for lifestyle and business success. As a member of your own university and an associate member of the Women's Speakers Association, she brings over 20 years of serial entrepreneurship, internet business training, and financial training to the table. Lucy is on a mission to empower and inspire holistic entrepreneurs to become wealthier. Let's begin that journey together as we welcome the host of the Wealthy Wednesday radio show, Lucy McMonagle.
I am so grateful you're listening to us today, and I wanted to thank you for taking your time out and being able to be here. We have a Facebook page. If you would like our Facebook page at facebook.com, Wealthy Wednesday Radio Show, that would be fabulous. And you can keep up on who our featured guests are for the week if you like our page. The Wealthy Wednesday Radio Show is for holistic entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, simpreneurs, and small business owners interested in increasing their knowledge, education, skills, and abilities to increase their wealth. It is my goal to inspire and empower you so that you can become healthier, wealthier, and happier. Today we have a very special guest and a very good friend of mine named Madra Little. She is an inspiration, to say the least. After having a complete transformation in late 2001, she attributes to the crystal skull consciousness. Madra has been facilitating the journey of self-discovery and self-realization for others for over a decade now. She is a gifted intuitive, and she utilizes hypnosis, crystals, sound, and color as tremendous tools in raising the vibration and changing life. Let me tell you, she really does change lives for a positive manner. Her essence is extremely effective in facilitating spiritual evolution and soul integration. An important part of helping others in sharing life's experience in sharing that we realize our true identities and abilities. As a facilitator, she is able to help you transform your life. Let us welcome Madra to the show. Hello, Madra. Are you there?
Hi, Lucy. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me today.
Oh, I'm so excited, and I'm so privileged that you have, been able to take time out of your really busy schedule to be on the Wealthy Wednesday radio show, and I really, really appreciate it. There's a lot of, I mentioned a little bit, just a little smidget about your background on how you got started from going from the corporate world to the crystal skull consciousness and for being an intuitive where you utilize all these skills. But can you tell us a little bit more about your background and how did this start to become a business from the corporate world?
Well, I have been intuitive and psychic all of my life and felt that presence in my life all of my life from childhood. Even had a couple of near-death experiences that actually seemed to bring me closer to my main guide, which is Yeshua or Jesus, and not in the traditional sense, but literally as someone who is that imaginary friend, if you will, that you talk to and connect with, that gives you guidance. And so this has been an ongoing thing for me all of my life, and because of that, I have an extremely powerful faith that moves me forward. And a lot of people have said that I fly by the seat of my pants, but it is by faith that I fly by the seat of my pants. So that being said, I actually was in the corporate world for almost 30 years, and back in 2001, 2002, lost that job. It was a set of synchronistic events that set it into motion. It was one of those things that for several years prior to 2002, I had been expressing my desire to really live my purpose and my passion. Not really sure what that is, like many people are, you know. I mean, I loved everything to do with the metaphysical world and the paranormal world. I mean, there was nothing that really I considered out there. And so in 2002, the crystal skulls came into my life, and a set of events were set into motion that within 8 months after the crystal skulls came in, I was let go from my corporate job. It was under new ownership, and they were restructuring. And my guidance said as I was walking out the door of my boss's office, well, you wouldn't quit any other way. You know, you've expressed your dissatisfaction in this job the last several years, and so we're helping you out here. So, again, I say a set of events set things into motion, and from the very moment that I left the corporate world, things began to unfold for me in a way that, I mean, it's synchronistic, but at the time it was like magic unfolding because, and to me, synchronicity is magic, but it was like, you know, magic unfolding because I was immediately invited by people in the area to share the crystal skulls that had come into my life, to share my gifts and my wisdom and my knowledge surrounding them, and the, you know, whatever wisdom information that I had to share. It's just like all of a sudden all of these pathways opened for me that were just amazing, and the support that was there the moment I walked through that door was just magical. And so I haven't looked back, not one time since then, and I have continued to expand and grow, and have been working with my present colleague for about 9 years now, and it still continues to expand and grow, and the support of the community, the support of my colleague and his wife and my own family has just been so inspiring to continue the work and for the expansion that continues to take place. So it's always changing. It's always growing. It's always expanding, just like we are. So, you know, that faith has led me to a place where I now see that there's absolutely nothing that can be presented to us as far as opportunity is concerned, that we're not already prepared for. It's something that at some point in our lives we set into motion already, and the universe is going, are you ready for this? Because if you're ready for this, all you have to do is say yes.
Wow, and that is really powerful for a lot of people who are just starting to figure out what their purpose is and how they can start navigating what they're supposed to be doing. And you just basically, you follow the clues and you look for those doors that are opening and you say yes. That's
yes, absolutely. So many times where people are apprehensive about saying yes because they don't know what lies on the other side, or they're, you know, the fear of the unknown, so to speak, which is one of the greatest fears out there. And so, but it is in that having that faith, knowing that, as the saying goes, you know, once you let go, that you're either going to be provided with the wings to take flight, or the path is going to form under your feet. You know, having that faith that everything is already in motion, it's already there. It's just a matter of your willingness and yourself giving yourself permission to move forward.
That's so true, and that's been true in my life too, where, you know, I've really, you know, taken a lot of faith from you, from your wisdom and your crystal bowl vibration meditations on how to move forward and just completely trust without even seeing where the road's going to lead, just basically moving forward. And now, have you had any mentors that helped you learn more of this faith or trust, or anybody that has helped you?
The faith has been instilled in me all of my life. Like I said, that's something that I've always had. I'm an eternal optimist. You know, and I tell people I have and it's like a tattoo or an imprint on the inside of my forehead that says good will prevail. And so this is something that I've always known, and I've never allowed myself to be consumed by what was going on around me or in my personal life. And, having learned early on that, we're not what happens to us, we're what we do with what happens to us, how we utilize that as a tool, because everything in our life is a tool to move forward, to assist others. Yes, I have had mentors in helping me to become more comfortable with my sharing, because in the corporate world, I was in management, but it was all basically one-on-one for the most part. And so I'm really good on one-on-one, but it took me a while to get comfortable in groups, and with a multitude of people. And now I have no problem with that. But it was one of my first teachers, actually, who invited me in. Actually, it was a meditation channeling circle. And my husband and I were both invited in just with open arms. And it was through that group. We were in the group for almost 5 years, and it was through that group. And it was at that perfect time, the crystal skulls had come in, the corporate job was behind me, and so it was really time for me to move into that aspect of myself. And we were just welcomed in and as a part of the group, part of the family, and I got so comfortable in sharing in that group because the whole group was just such a perfect blend at that time. So that was early on. That was right off the bat. And then since then, there's been what I call facilitators. So several facilitators that I've connected with and still friends with. I'm still very, very, very grateful for their assistance and for them facilitating for me, as we all facilitate for each other. But they facilitated the shifting or moving in, on my path, just like I did for them as well. So, we're all teachers and we're all students. We're all here facilitating. I prefer that word, but we're all here facilitating for each other as we move forward in our paths. What is for our highest good? What is for the highest good of the whole? And then what is for the highest good of our intention or our focusing going forward? So there's always someone, that perfect person that's placed in your path to facilitate the next move for you.
That's really inspiring. So when you're looking around and you look at the people who are being placed in your path, look for the ones that are going to facilitate your greatest movement forward so that you can become a facilitator yourself. That's really excellent. I really enjoy that. And it's so true.
And yes, and also a lot of times some of those are the ones that are going to make you feel really uncomfortable about where you are or where you think you're going or where you think you are, and they're going to make you question. And that's how you come to that place of, oh, wait, now I see the bigger picture here. So, because I've been in several situations where I was very uncomfortable at the time and not understanding why my guidance had placed me where I was, and come to learn that those places where we are the most uncomfortable are where we're going to obtain the most growth and the most understanding.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. That is so true. That we do. That is the points that we have the greatest growth is those moments. Now, you help others to connect with their innate gifts and their abilities on their soul's journeys, and you also help coach them on getting them to their creative and productive energies flowing. Can you explain a little bit on how this works, or what somebody can do to move forward on that?
First off, the main thing is the willingness to move forward, because many people will come to me and say, I'm ready to do something different, but I don't know what it is. But then after talking with them, you find out that there's still a good deal of fear built up in there of the unknowing, the not knowing what lies next, or exactly how that's going to look, or where it's going to take me, or and on and on. So it is a willingness to move forward in that faith, making what I tell people baby steps. As long as you're moving, as long as you're progressing forward, as long as you're not sitting there waiting for it to fall in your lap, it's going to find its way to you through the perfect person, place, thing, or experience. And so putting out there to your guidance, I'm ready for this change, with grace and ease, but I'm ready for this change to move forward in my life in a different light, in a different passion, in a different purpose from where I am right now in this moment. And it may be, for instance, we see a lot of people right now that are in the medical field that I have found many of them are here to assist in the integration of alternative and traditional. And so they're kind of caught with one foot in both worlds and in between. And so they're not completely happy where they are, but at the same time they're not completely sure how to go about implementing either new work or getting themselves out there in the alternative. And, my guidance with that, when I work with someone who's going through a situation like that, is to give them clarity in whatever way that we can give them clarity. We can do that through hypnosis. We can do that through vibrational sound sessions, with, working with crystals. So there's so many different ways that I can work with them to give them clarity. That's what they're really requiring in that moment, so that they can just continue forward, because as long as you're moving forward, the doors are going to open. They're absolutely going to open. So instead of, people who get in ruts or get frustrated or irritated, depressed with the system, with the way everything's going, with life in general, and so they just stop. They all of a sudden they stop going out, they stop connecting with their friends, they stop doing things for themselves. And the utmost thing at this time, when you're looking for that clarity, is you don't shut down. If there's any way that you can keep going and keep moving forward and connecting, that's what's going to continue to open the doors and open the pathways for you. So keep things moving and to facilitate clarity, because, I'm a facilitator, meaning I don't do it for you. I'm there to help you to find that way yourself. And so each person is unique, and I usually consult with each person that comes to me, and we decide the best course of action for that person and moving forward. And maybe it's spiritual coaching, personal coaching. Like I say, the sound vibrations are very effective because they raise the vibration, and while doing so, they give you clarity. So they're one of the most beneficial things that I do. I'm passionate about the vibrational sound healings that I do and the meditations that we do, because I've seen so many lives transformed because of the vibrational sound sessions and the meditations. So, the first and foremost thing is to help somebody to find that clarity and that to keep moving forward. And if you can help them with that part of it, then you see growth and you see change and you see movement, and they do as well.
Wow. Yeah, and that's really important, is to move forward. Now, we're going to be taking a commercial break in just a moment to honor our sponsors. Okay. And if people wanted to get a hold of you, your website is cranialvisions.com? Yes. All right, and that's CRANIAL Visions, VISIONS.com. And then you have a calendar of events on there, or is the calendar the Sacred Gathering Space Heart?
Yes, that's the website for the calendar of events, is the Sacred Gathering website.
Okay.
Which is sacred. Go ahead.
I was just going to repeat the website, but I'll let you do that.
Okay. It's sacredgathering-heart.com.
Okay, and that's for the calendar of events. Yes. So we will be right back after our commercial break, and then I was going to ask you a little bit more on explaining what this vibrational sound meditations are when we come back. So hold on, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Be you to the fullest. That's beautiful. And it is the secret to living your life on purpose. But so many people suffer, not knowing who they are and what they are here for, because of the ongoing influences shooting all over us. Are you ready to break free, take back your power, and discover exactly what makes you, you? Your Own University is the #1 online self-awareness community, here to help you confidently know yourself and step into your ideal life. Our directory is full of highly qualified personal coaches that have helped over 100,000 women from all over the world transform their lives inside and out. Come fall in love with yourself and discover true fulfillment at yourownuniversity.com.
From the best-selling author of From Bondage to Happiness, Antika Lisha will personally walk you through her new program featuring her Radical Forgiveness Freedom Formula. This is for you if you are ready to once and for all be released from the chains of past abuse and take your power back. Radical Forgiveness is a 5-week step-by-step system to release the chains of a traumatic past, trapping in fear, reactivity, and stress, and gently free you, allowing you to take your power back and claim your beautiful life. Get instant access to your first video and a free 60-minute discovery session with Antika herself, a $250 value, at antikalibby.com/radicalforgiveness.
I felt out of control. I hated the fact that when my husband would kiss me, my body would shudder. I'd feel so guilty and wanted to run away. I knew it wasn't my husband's fault or even my own, but the pain of my childhood abuse was still controlling my life. Until I found Antika and the Divine in 9 program. Now, I am free. The flashbacks are gone. They have vanished. My marriage is so much more fun, and I know the brighter side of life. I never thought I could feel this good about being me. If you are a woman like me who survived abuse and you're ready to stop fighting and start living, don't wait any longer. Register right now at www.divinein9.com.
Welcome back to the Wealthy Wednesday radio show. This is your host, Lucy McMonagle, and I am so grateful you're here today. Our guest is Madra Little from cranialvisions.com, and we were discussing sound vibrations and how she facilitates transformation for you. Welcome back, Madra.
Thank you, Lucy.
Well, we were, just before a commercial break to honor our sponsors, we were discussing that you're really passionate about your sound vibrations and sound resonance. Could you explain to people what that is if they're not sure what you're talking about?
Okay. It's working with crystal bowls, gongs, chimes, rattles, drums, the didgeridoo, different sound tools in that manner, rattles. So I even have some I have a tambourine. I have several. I have like one of the triangles, and these are tools that I have been guided to bring into my practice. I have tuning forks, bring into my practice to utilize because everything is frequency, and so working with people at the level of vibration and frequency, because we are all energy, we are all vibration. So working with tools in that manner, and again, they're unique to the person that is coming in for the session, or even unique to the different meditations that we do, based on the energy of that person or that collective, and based on the energies of the moment. So the frequencies work with on many different levels. They work with the vibration of the individual, say in a private session, but also the energies around that person, the energies of that particular day that are surrounding us based on the astrological alignments and what's going on the planet. All of that plays a factor as well in facilitating through vibrational sound sessions. And then in the meditations that we do, again, working with crystal bowls and like a copper pyramid, crystals in general, with the crystal skulls, gongs, several chimes. We have a lot of different tools that we've been guided to bring in to expound upon it. And they're, each session, whether it's a private session or the collective session, meditation is about an hour long. And through this session, healing is provided based on the level that that person, individual, or collective is ready to embrace. And then also clarity is provided because the sound works from an internal level at a cellular level. It is an internal massage is one of the best ways to explain it. It works from the inside out. It goes in at the cellular level. You can, you hear it with your ears, but you would receive exactly what you're supposed to receive if you had an earplugs, because it goes in at the pores, it goes in at the cellular level, and it bypasses the mind or the monkey chatter. And so you can still be sitting there thinking what you've got to do later, where you've got to go, what's going to take place, and you're still receiving through the vibration and the frequency exactly what you're willing to embrace. And so, even if you go to sleep, you're still receiving exactly what you're ready to embrace at that time. So I've seen so many lives changed because of the vibrational healing sessions and the meditations. And people, we have our sound meditations every weekend now, every Saturday night and every other Friday night, and I'm doing special small group sessions with it now that are very similar to the cross between the meditation and a private session, because I do work on each individual in the small groups. But the vibration itself, is not only serving those who are in attendance at the meditation or those who come in the private practice. When you come in for a session, a sound session, it's not only facilitating for you, it's facilitating for those in your circle of influence, because you carry that vibration back out into your circle of influence. And so it can't not affect them in some way in transformation and change. The same is true for the meditations. We, as a collective, we usually have around 20 to 30 people in our meditations. And so those people that come in that experience the meditation, they carry that back out to their families, to their friends, to their places of business, everywhere they go. So we're raising the vibration individually, but also collectively, for our geographical area, for our city, for our state, for the, for this particular country. And there's a lot of people doing more and more of the vibrational healing with the crystal bowls, the Himalayan bowls, or the metal bowls, the Tibetan bowls, the gongs, the drums, they're drumming circles. So vibration is raising, it's shifting things for us. The earth's vibration is shifting. So as we're moving through this great shifting consciousness, one of the best ways to ride the waves of energy is through vibrational sound, because it helps to raise our vibration individually, but it also helps to clear out and cleanse out old energy, blocked energy, stuck energy, and it also helps to create healing at a level that's correct and appropriate for each person. Never more than what you can handle in any given time, but always that perfect amount, always the perfect level that you feel comfortable with. So seeing so many people be raised up in consciousness and vibration and clarity and experience the healing is the inspiration behind the work. And I've always loved sound and music, anything to do with music and sound. And that's one of the best ways. Edgar Cayce said that vibrational healing was the way that many diseases would be cured in the future. And that's absolutely where we are right now.
That's so true. And there's been a lot of documented studies with sound vibration and in the benefits of healing through music, through sound, through vibration. And, finally science is starting to catch up with the ancient wisdom of what they've, what most people have done for centuries, which was listening to different types of sounds or using their voice or using instruments or creating different instruments that have different resonances of vibration. So, if you're in the Memphis area on a Saturday night, I would highly recommend getting a hold of Madra Little. And if you're not in the Memphis area, she also provides Reiki and Long Distance Healing, so she can still be of benefit for you. Her website is cranialvisions.com, and I would highly recommend her personally, because I have experienced the one-on-one sessions with her, with you, and I've experienced the group sessions, and I've just really, really enjoy a lot of them. They've brought a lot of clarity to my life, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this radio show, is because of that clarity. So, Madra, you have so many different things that you provide for the people. You know, you have events, you have workshops, meditations, and you're helping restore the divine balance, the divine feminine balance in the planet. How do you balance being there for the clients and people that need you and being there for yourself?
Well, first and foremost, it is, again, I still contribute so much of where I am and who I am to my faith, in myself, in my guidance, in the greater good, in the universal source, in the planet herself. So it is that faith that everything is in divine order. And, you know, knowing that, and this is, you know, the realization that I've come to, and it's something that I have strived to get to over the last, say, 15 or 20 years, that everything is energy, and energy is everything, and energy is always changing. And so if you see something as energy as opposed to labeling it something else altogether different, then you can actually, energy is a tool. It's a resource. And it's not intimidating if you see it as energy. And so the more I am in my purpose and in my passion, and the more I'm true to myself, the more I'm in alignment on a consistent basis with my vibration, with the work that I'm doing, with my guidance, with the source energy. So for me, it is maintaining that clarity, knowing when to, and being a Leo and a Taurus at the same time. So I have a very, very big heart, but I can be very strong-minded or strong-willed. And so I had to learn, and it's what my guidance taught me in the early years back in 2002 and 2003. I had to learn energy transference, and I had to learn because I'm a very extreme empathic or sensitive. And so I feel things at a very, very deep level. I'm here to feel things at a very, very deep level, not just for myself, but for the collective, for the planet, because I am one of the holders of energy or space. And so it's important that I recognize what this feels like to me when it's becoming overwhelming, or it's becoming out of balance or out of alignment, and that I pull back and that I nurture myself. So that nurturing of myself is one of the ways that I maintain my own journey and the practice, and maintain my own clarity, my vibration. There are days, you know, when we just have to understand that we have to unplug, and so I schedule those days for the most part into my in my regular schedule. You know, I have certain days that I set aside to do certain things at home, and then, you know, the other days at the office. So you have to kind of know, you know, you're not going back and forth. You're not scattered. You're not fatiguing yourself or expending your own energy, figuring out, okay, what comes next, you know. So it's one of those things. I've been divinely guided. I'm divinely guided every single day, every single week, every single month with what comes in. And I've come to that place where I understand that everything has its purpose, and so if for whatever reason today is not exactly the way I planned it, you know, the universal source has something better in store for me. So I don't let it consume me that, oh wow, this did not go my way. I totally lost time and I didn't get this accomplished and I didn't get that accomplished. Or if someone comes into my, you know, for a session and they're just really out there, and I've had clients say to me, you know, how do you prepare for challenging clients? And my answer to that is I really don't have to prepare. I'm here to do the work. I'm not in the way. I'm absolutely allowing myself to be that channel, that vessel for the universal source to come through. And so it's not about me preparing myself. I set up my sacred space with crystals and sacred artifacts and items that mean, you know, something to me that I feel guided to bring into my sacred space. I keep it cleansed and cleared, and I keep my own energy cleansed and cleared. I'm very grounded, and I'm very I feel very aligned with where I am on my journey and my purpose and my passion. So I really don't feel very often out of balance or out of alignment, And my guidance is very awesome to help me in those moments when I do feel out of whack. Just, usually I go into what I call like a trance state, and I either receive like an upload or a download. It could be anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours. And usually when I come out of that, everything is completely different. So in those moments when, the energy does become overwhelming for whatever reason, my guidance is just amazing to help bring me back into calibration.
Wow, that's really important. Now, if for our audience, you mentioned that you ground yourself, you cleanse your area. What are some of the tips that you would like to share with the audience on if they wanted to start experimenting with grounding themselves, or if they wanted to experiment with how to cleanse themselves and they've never experienced this concept before? How would you explain that, or what would you explain to them?
The grounding is being connected, feeling connected, not being so scattered. A lot of times when we feel scattered, we just can't seem to find clarity in that moment, it's because we are in too many places at the same time, meaning, okay, we're with the children in this moment. I'm also thinking about what I've got to go home and do. I'm at work, and I got to have a certain amount of focus on that. I've got, after a while when I get home, I've got to do this. And so we're constantly thinking about what we've got to do or what needs to be done. And so the best thing to bring you into focus or clarity, there's several simple ways. You can actually sit with your feet on the ground and actually visualize tree roots coming out of the bottoms of your feet and going into the earth energies or into the floor. And as you do, just, connecting with those energies and setting the intention to ground, to recalibrate, and lightly tapping on the top of your legs while you're doing that is going to kind of assist you as well. Very simple way to do that. Another way that is one of my best ways is to go outside and be in nature, to walk in nature, hug a tree, sit by a tree, sit with your feet barefoot on the grass, on the ground. That's an awesome way to ground and connect in with the earth energies to give you clarity. Many people don't do that enough these days. We've got so much technology. It keeps us inside. It keeps us, that's where our focus and intention is, from our computer to our television to our phone, and on and on. So, get outside and enjoy nature as much as possible. Working with plants and gardening, is an excellent way of connecting in with the earth energies and grounding, giving you clarity. It's also a type of meditation, just being in those energies. It's a much different energy than being inside. Inside our homes, we have all of these electrical grids throughout our home, and these electrical grids get in the way of in our businesses as well, in the businesses that we go to, where we shop and visit frequently. So we're consistently bombarded by these electrical grids around us. And because we're electrical, it has a tendency to really confuse information that's coming in, information that's going out, our clarity in general. So the more you can get outside, the better off you're going to be. Even if you set aside time for yourself in the morning and in the evening to really disconnect from the inside as much as possible and just go sit outside. Breathe the fresh air around you. Connect in with the nature spirits, the elements, the trees. I love trees. That's always been one of my big things is trees. I've always really admired them. I've always respected them energetically. And so, connecting with them, hugging a tree, sitting in amongst some trees, standing around tree roots is very grounding. So those are simple ways of grounding. As far as cleansing and clearing, crystals are awesome for assisting us in cleansing and clearing. Certain crystals are good for clearing energy. You know, just crystal quartz is a master healer. It works on all of the energy centers of the body, and it helps to, you know, cleanse and clear. It amplifies, restores, receives, transmits. It does so many different things, and there are so many other crystals out there that will facilitate clearing too. You're always drawn to the ones that you need to work with. You know, taking a salt bath once or twice a week is a good way of cleansing and clearing your energy, you know, clearing out toxins, clearing out toxic energy. You know, if you work in a toxic environment, say in retail, I mean, to me, that's kind of a toxic environment because there's so many different energies that come through a retail store. And so you may really need to cleanse on a regular basis. Even if you work in a hospital, that's sort of a toxic environment because you've got so many different variables and dynamics coming through there energetically. So you want to make sure that you stay clear and cleansed, because otherwise you're going to pick up on some of that. And then also drinking, you know, making sure that you stay completely hydrated, you know, drinking lots of water keeps energy moving. This is also cleansing and clearing. Drinking water with lemon in it is really good for you in keeping the energy moving and keeping the pH level of your body at a level that is perfect for detoxing on a regular basis and promotes wellness and health and well-being. So, you know, there's a lot of simple ways of doing, and you know, there's a plethora of different YouTube videos out there showing different all the time that you can cleanse and clear and ground, and whatever you resonate with, you know. There are so many, because we are all so different energetically, there's so many different ways out there now to facilitate for you, to help you to learn, to help you to grow, that there's absolutely no excuse not to access that information.
That's so true. And that you know, YouTube has been a valuable resource for me, from learning new meditations to discovering new artists who, you know, things like and for things like how to fix your plumbing or how to fix stuff. So YouTube is absolutely invaluable for information, and there's so many people who want to share with it too. We're going to take a short commercial break, and then when we get back, I was going to ask you, what are the greatest accomplishments you've had? So we'll be right back.
Okay, great.
Lucy McMonagle is a business and lifestyle transformational coach. Listen up to learn more about what this means for you. You have abilities, some of which you currently use, some that can be tweaked. Your intuition is your compass. It guides you towards your destination. Sometimes, however, the destination is a tad off, which is where Lucy comes in. Lucy went from poverty to wealth by utilizing innate abilities that she discovered she had in order to mold her talents around money-making opportunities. After a short conversation with you, Lucy can determine whether she can help you find your way to wealth and prosperity. Visit LucyMcMonagle.com and book a free clarity session now and discover where your life leads. That's LucyMcMonagle.com. Become inspired, empowered, and wealthy now.
Experiencing a financial glass ceiling? Lucy McMonagle is a money manifestor coach, and it's her passion to educate others how to manifest more money. Grab her free gift, Make Money Now, at LucyMcMonagle.com. That's LucyMcMonagle.com.
Welcome back to the Wealthy Wednesday radio show. This is your host, Lucy McMonagle, and I am so grateful you are here. Today we have a phenomenal guest. Her name is Madra Little, and her website is cranialvisions.com. Welcome back, Madra.
Thank you, Lucy. It's great to be here.
Right before the commercial break, we were discussing, I wanted to ask you, what are some of your greatest accomplishments that you've had so far to date?
There are so many it's hard to articulate because, especially when you began on this particular path that I've been on the last 15 years, I'm going to say my real spiritual path. I've always been a spiritual person. I've always connected in. Like I said, I've always been very one of these who didn't worry but prayed instead, and in essence, we know that is meditation as well. So I've always been one that's always just turned it over to the higher source to help me to understand and to shift and change things. And so one of my greatest accomplishments has been moving into the place where I can step back and look at everything as energy as opposed to labeling it good or bad, light or dark, right or wrong, And this enables me to have to work from compassion for each person's journey, for each person's choices, for each person's pathway. And so in doing so, I'm able to be more objective. And I tell people all the time, I could not do the work I'm doing if I did not remain objective, because in each person's situation, when you're listening to, and this in the work that you do, when you're listening to someone, you're hearing their perspective of what's going on in their life. There are so many other dynamics and variables that you don't know. I mean, intuitively, psychically, you might pick up on some of that, but basically you only get little snippets of what that is. And besides the fact you're working with this one person, you're not working with all of that. So being objective, remaining detached in a way that I don't get involved in the person's emotions and their feelings, get caught up in that, get overwhelmed by that, allow myself to be consumed by that. That, to me, is one of my greatest accomplishments, that I've come to a place where I can be objective in this work. I can hold that love. I can hold that compassion. I can hold that peace for that person that's moving forward on their journey, facilitating wherever they're ready to go for themselves, whatever choices they're ready to make for themselves, holding that energy for them. And again, that phrase, holding that energy, holding that space for them, because that's what I have come to understand, being a facilitator, that I am here holding the space and the energy for others who are ready to raise up, who are ready to raise their vibration, who are ready to raise their consciousness, who are ready to get into the action or into the experience of this new age of consciousness or this new era of consciousness that we're in right now. So my greatest accomplishment is my own work on myself as I have moved forward, and how that shows up in my work, in what I'm able to provide for people, how I'm able to hold the energy for them and steadily as opposed to wavering, So being able to be that objective facilitator, holding that love, that compassion, knowing that everybody is exactly where they're supposed to be at any given moment. And most people will beat themselves up because they believe that they're supposed to be, I'm supposed to be here, I'm supposed to be there, or I should have done this, or I should have done, coulda, shoulda, woulda type thing. But everything is always in divine order. And, I remember back in 2009 experiencing at a conference that I had gone to in Sedona, Arizona, and one of the groundskeepers at the retreat center that we were at, his favorite saying was, "It is what it is." And every time I would hear him say that, I would think, that is just awesome to be in that place where you realize everything is exactly what it's supposed to be. It's not good or bad or black or white or light or dark. And so at that time, one of my own desires was to be able to move into that place where I understood it is what it is, not making it about me. Detaching from it completely and seeing that there's a bigger picture here, and that we're all tools for each other's facilitation, for each other's growth, for each other's progress, for each other's raising of consciousness. We're each here to help each other along, and utilizing that wisdom and that knowledge and moving forward, and knowing that, we're constantly being provided with the tools, the resources to assist us in that. To me, that is my greatest accomplishment. The what would fall in behind that is the work that I'm able to do for others, because I could not do that work for others or in service to others if I had not done that work on myself already as well. So that comes in right behind that, because it is such an honor and a blessing to be able to facilitate for others, to be able to hold that energy in that space for others. And I know that I'm absolutely exactly where I'm supposed to be in this moment. And at the same time, I do feel great change and great expansion coming in, not just for me, but for many, many people that I know in this field at this time.
I'd have to agree with you that they're, working on yourself first is one of the greatest accomplishments anybody can do, because you really are setting yourself up for success, and you're setting those people you're associating with, you're setting them up for success because you're showing by example. And when you can raise your consciousness so that you're more aware of the things that you're doing that are either beneficial or not beneficial, then you have a choice, and that gives you back your power. And speaking of
Absolutely.
power, what has been one of the more empowering days of your life, if you have any particular ones at all?
Well, I have to say one of the more empowering days, and I didn't see it at the moment, but was the day that I left the corporate world. Because, I began working in the corporate world at the age of 18, not unlike many people. But so I was sculpted into what the corporate world pretty much wanted me to be, and I was glad to be there. I'm going to say for the first 20 years of it, I enjoyed the work. The people that I worked with, and everything that came through was a learning, growing experience. It was tremendous. It taught me tremendous sense of business ethics. And I did go to a vocational business college, so I had business ethics when I went into it, and I still do. And so I have a strong sense of business knowledge as well, which is very beneficial for me, having my own business now, being independent and all. But having left the corporate world at the time was so empowering for me, because I knew without a doubt that even though in that moment it was traumatic, because you're leaving almost 30 years of your life behind. All of a sudden this cycle has come to an end, and it's like, wow, okay, where I was hoping this would happen, I guess I really never thought it was going to happen, And so you're kind of conflicted. And so as I was leaving that day, I was like, wow, it really happened. It really. So now begins a very new era of my life. And it was very empowering. At the same time, I had no clue the direction it was about to go. I had no clue where I was going from there, where I was going to be working. And I have to say that since that time, I've absolutely fulfilled every desire that I have had in what I wanted, what I desire to do, the different kinds of work that I desire to do. Every single one of them has been fulfilled up to this point. So in 15 years, and it's not my bucket list, because that's, it's where I wanted to go on my spiritual path, where I wanted to fulfill myself with my purpose, with the work that I was doing in service to others. And the way it unfolded, it's kind of a joke when you think about it. I couldn't have planned it better myself, and yet I absolutely know that, probably about 20 years ago, I set things into motion. And so, but when I left the corporate world that day, that was probably the most empowering day. It was very traumatic, but at the same time, I look back on that now, and I think that was the most empowering day of my life, literally.
Wow, and that would be empowering, because but with all things, when you have huge change, you have huge growth, as you mentioned earlier. Yeah. And now we've got just about 5 minutes left on the show, so I would like to wrap up with, what advice would you give your younger self, or would you give the audience if they're just starting out on their purpose, on their business, what they feel is right for them at that moment?
The advice that I would give myself or for someone just starting out is that everything is always right in that moment. If you can bring yourself to really have faith in that statement, everything is always right on cue. There are no mistakes. There are no bad choices. Everything is a lesson. You know, when you think about some of the great inventors, Einstein and different ones, how many times they had to fail before they succeeded. And, this is pointed out a lot of times, but if you can just have faith that everything is in divine order in that moment, even if it doesn't look like the way that you think it's going to look, again, as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you keep doing your own work, you're going to see the change. You're going to see the support of the universe, because there's never been a time like right now that the universe supports us in transformation. Everything about this timeline that we're in is transformation. So if you can have faith in that and yourself, the utmost thing that you can have faith in is yourself. And if you have faith in yourself and moving forward, you're going to see tremendous growth and tremendous changes, and remembering that there's no right or wrong, there's no mistakes, there's no bad choices. Everything is a lesson, it's a tool, it's a resource in assisting you in moving forward. Okay, so you didn't like the outcome of something that you just did, so do it a different way. There's always tomorrow. We always get a new day to start everything over new. And, starting each and every, day with an attitude of gratitude, staying in that place of gratitude, and also staying in that place of compassion for those around you, so that you're not judging, that you're not in the situations around you, so that you're not judging it, you're not calling it, and remembering that, you attract energetically what you focus on. So if you focus on fear of moving forward, if that's where your energy is, then you're going to remain in that place of fear of moving forward, So knowing that the universe has your back, there's always someone out there to assist you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's a biggie right there. That's something I had to learn, because I'm one of these I can do it myself kind of people. And my guidance has said, Madra, it's awesome that you can do it yourself. You absolutely can do it yourself, but you don't have to do it yourself. There's a tremendous amount of help out there for you, and in denying this one person that has offered to help you the opportunity to help you, you are inhibiting that transference of giving and receiving. So just say yes sometimes. And just ask for that help openly sometimes. It's not a sign of weakness. Many people have developed that attitude that it is a sign of weakness. It's absolutely not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of connecting in with the greater good to assist in moving forward, not just for yourself, but for those in your circle of influence, for those in your geographical area, again, raising the vibration, raising the energy, raising the consciousness. So just don't be afraid to ask for help, because there's so many different facilitators out there, teachers out there, success people such as yourself out there, that's what you do. That's what you bring to the table. And so you're always going to be guided to the perfect person for yourself when you do ask for that help. Your guidance always has your back.
That is so incredibly true. So if you're in the Memphis area, or if you're not, Madra Little's website is cranialvisions.com. That's cranialvisions.com. And check out her website and get a hold of her. Thank you, Madra. I really appreciate you being on the Wealthy Wednesday radio show. We're going to wrap it up. Is there anything else you'd like to quickly specify?
I just appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today and to be on this journey with you as well. It's an awesome journey. It's exciting. I tell people that all the time. It is so exciting. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here with you today and to share. And it's amazing that we can come together in this format and share with so many the masses out there through the technology that we have today. So thank you so much for the opportunity and for the experience today, sharing with you as well as those out there listening today.
Thank you so kindly.
Thanks for listening to the Wealthy Wednesday radio show with Lucy McMonagle every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join us next time for more in the way of expert interviews with excellent guests and entrepreneurship and business tips that'll help you better your personal and business life. For excellent resources and to personally contact Lucy McMonagle, visit LucyMcMonagle.com. Until next time, so long, everybody.